Hello everyone. Good evening to all. I hope I'm audible. Hello everyone. Am I audible? Just type in the chat box. Just let me just confirm in the chat box, right? Good evening. Good evening. Am I audible? And I'll share my screen. Okay. Just let me know when my screen is visible. So today we'll going to start, right? Just give me a second. Okay. Just confirm in the chat box if my screen is visible. Hello, Sunil. Okay. Okay, okay. So I'll share my screen. Just confirm when it's visible. Just give me a second. Okay. So how you all? Do you have any doubt from the previous class? From the last class, anyone have any doubt? Just let me know. What is happening to this? Okay. Confirm in the chat box if my screen is visible, right? Okay. I guess it is. Right. So just make sure this is how you're gonna mark the attendance, right? We are repeating the same step again. So this is for the day 2, and today we are going to see about the arrays, functions, and some algorithms. Okay. So it could be like the searching algorithms, the sorting algorithms. Okay, in the array. So, is my screen is visible? Yeah. Right. Okay. So this is how you're gonna mark the attendance, right? So the link is given in the description. You have to enroll into this bootcamp first. Okay. Then you are going to you have to mark the attendance, right? So you have to just click on this any of the rating, right? How recommend your friend for this today's session. Which program you are more interested in? Yeah, it's Java DSA full stack web dev. It's up to you. You can give the feedback as well. Okay, and then just click on the submit attendance. Remember this thing, you have to complete at least this progress past 50 percentage to have this certificate. Okay, so this is the constant, and here you can refer this as well. Okay, so I'll explain this again the end of class. Okay, let's start with our topic, which is okay. So I hope my right and clearly audible. Okay, cool. Thanks. So this is the day second, right? And today we are going to see about the arrays, okay, and methods. So methods. Before starting, just let me know, okay, in the chat box, about the arrays. What is an array? Okay, just ignore this methods for now. What is an array? In not in Java, like in general, what is this array? Array क्या होता है? What is this array? Anyone just type in the chat box, okay, and let me know what is this array. Okay, similar type store. Okay, that's correct. And anyone else? What is this array? How we can declare and disguise the array, right? That is similar data type. Okay, cool. Array is a variable. Behel array is not a variable actually. Okay, we'll see that. Don't worry. Okay, exactly. So we are getting the correct responses, right? That is the collection of similar data type. So as we have already gone through this part, right? So see, in Java and other languages, there is a bit difference between the arrays. Okay, so how you are declaring the arrays, the syntax and the code structure for the array is different, right? Which is there in Java and in the other languages. Okay, so remember this point. So in Java, so here particularly we are talking about the Java, okay, not in general. So in Java, arrays that so in Java, array is a fixed size, right? So this is one of the again uh, stored in a content. Yeah, that's correct. Manoj. Exactly. So that is the same thing, right? So array is fixed size. This is the point. Okay, this is also important. So unlike in other languages, in Java we have this fixed size, which contains the similar data type. Right? That's the difference. Okay, unlike in the other languages and in Java. So array is very simple in one line. How we can define an array is as a fixed size uh, element, right, which contains a similar data types. Okay. So similar data types we know, which means we have primitive data types, which is the int. Okay. So obviously this data type is going to be like, again, in the arrays you can have the derived data type, but right now we are going to be see with the primitive data types only. Okay. So I have explained this point right in the this day one also. I'll repeat this again. Okay, when we are going to start with the code, right? So it contains the similar data type. Right now we are seeing with the primitive. So I hope you remember, right? So what is this primitive data type? Just type in the chat box. What is this primitive data type? I hope you remember, right? This is for the day first we have studied about the data types and variables. Okay. So this is simple. Okay, like contains the similar data type elements. Okay, it is a fixed size. So we'll see about this point, right? This is important, and your similar data type. Okay, so 2 points: your fixed size and your similar data type. Okay, that's only about the arrays. And the other point is how we access the arrays, right? To access the elements, because arrays is just like a container. Okay, so as like I have used variables, so arrays also is going to be a variable, right? It is also going to be a variable, but the size, the way of memory it is going to be allocated, right? And the how it is storing the elements is very different from a normal variable. Okay, so normal variable stores a single value, single element, okay, which is a byte. Okay, तो आपका जो bit data होता है, that is simple. Okay, so simple, let's suppose string. Okay, but in here we can store number of strings, number of that integers, okay, decimal values, anything. Okay, in Java. So that's the difference between the normal variables and the arrays. So array you can say this as a variable as well, nothing different. So in here to access, so all the elements you are going to store. Okay, so see, array you can just consider in a layman language. Let's suppose if you have a box, right, just like a variable, it is nothing different. So in here we have actually this stack, right? So if you have any idea about the memory, right? So this is not of much importance, but we should know how this array is working. So whatever the value you had, right? So this is going to be the stack memory. Okay. So this is the stack memory and this is the heap, right? So there are two terms which is most often used, right, related to the memory allocation. So this is like a heap, okay, and this is a stack. Here actually the variable name gets stored, okay, in the stack. Let's suppose if I just say ARR, okay, so this is a variable name, and this references to this particular address, right, where you are going to store the values. Okay, well, suppose if you have an integer array, we are going to see with the code. Okay, we are just saying a simple memory allocation part. Okay, although it is done that I don't have to worry about, but this is how the internal work. Okay, so in arrays, let's suppose this is the variable name you are taking, right? And I'll tell you. So first, let me complete this. So one more thing which we have to understand is the elements, right? To access the elements of array, we have the concept of indexes. Okay, have the use indexes. So this is the important point. Is every time we have to use the indexes, right? If you want to store or access the elements, even for manipulating the elements. So array is basically used for storing the elements where you can manipulate them, right? And afterwards use them. That's it. Okay. And this is the normal statement about it. Okay. And now let's see the working. So let's suppose if we have, okay, we'll see the syntax. If you are, this is an integer array. Here we are storing the numbers. Okay. So remember these 2 points is stack and heap. Heap stores actual value. Stack stores the your memory address of the variable. ठीक है, तो आपका variable कहाँ पे store है? That is the array, right? That is the variable name, right? ठीक है, यहाँ तक clear? It is clear till now. This point. Anyone have any doubt? You can ask. ठीक है, exactly in the random heap that is dynamic, right? So here let's suppose if you have numbers, ठीक है, random numbers, you have to anything. Let's 14 and 55. Okay, we have numbers like this. So we have some memory, right? Memory address allocated to this. So as you guys know, right, this is not right now it's not more important, right, to see the bytes and what we have. Let's suppose it is taking this 4 byte of space and all those things. Okay. So in here, if it's taking that much that space. So there is a memory address, and it is going to be +4, right, from here, and this is going to be +4 from here. So whatever the memory address this element is going to have, the memory address for the second one or the second element is going to be +4. Okay, so this is not actually more important. This is just an internal working. Okay, so this is not as much needed okay, in the development if you are using Java. Okay, so now in this case, this is the memory address. Okay, so how arrays with the indexes. Okay, we use the indexes for this accessing the elements, but in the internal working, right, how the compiler takes it, okay, to access the elements. Let's suppose if you want 2, we have to access the index, which is 0. Okay, so one more point is, okay, I'll just, okay, so let me remove all this. Okay, any doubt till now? This is simple, right? This is the internal working. It's not much important right now. Okay, so we are going to see one the syntax part, okay, afterwards. And before that, one more point is your about the indexes. Okay, so we talk about this term indexes, right? Anyone remembers in the arrays where it is starting from? I mean, there's a proper way, right, where this starts. Heap stores the actual value. Yeah, heap stores the value we are storing, right, in the array. Okay, so that is value in, if you are storing numbers, that number is going to store in the heap, not in the stack. Okay, voice problem. Okay, is my voice lacking? Can anyone just confirm? Is my voice is lacking? Just let me know in the chat box. Is it for everyone or for some people only? Just confirm in the chat box first. Okay, okay. It's clearly be just the issue at your side. Uh, those who are saying, okay. So the main point is about the indexes, right? So you guys are telling me from the index 0, right? So the indexes starts from 0, right? That's simple. So we are going this indexes are going to start from the 0, right? Which means 0 is the first element, then first, then second, then third, and all. Okay, like that. So let me open this code first. Okay. Okay. And here we have, okay, let me open a different file. Okay, so this is from the previous class. Let me open a different folder in here and create file. Okay, so I'll just say arrays for Java. Remember this point, the extension for the file name is going to be Java, right? If you're making a Java file. Okay. Now this is a simple class. The name is going to be same automatically. So we are using extension, right? I hope you have already set up all these things, JDK and VS Code. Okay. If not, just see the previous recording, right? It will be clear. So here we are going to start with the array. Okay, so first we are going to talk about the syntax, which is most important. So syntax of arrays declaration. Okay, so there are 2 points here actually. So there is a term declaration, right? I hope you guys have this idea about declaration installation. The simple points is declaration means you are allocating the memory, right, in the this heap, okay, and the stack obviously for the variable name. So in general, we have to declare the array first to use it. Okay, it is for other data types as well, which is going to be derived. So array is not a primitive data type, right? If you remember, array is one of the derived data type because it uses the primitive data type. Okay, if you remember from the last class, we have discussed about the primitive data types, right, in general. So this is one of the derived data types, which means array is a derived data type. Okay, so derived, if you remember, it is just a use of primitive data type, nothing else. Okay, so when we are using the primitive data types to store some values, okay, either the collection of values, that is what derived data type means. Okay, simple. So let's see the declaration first. So first is going to be the data type. I'll write in a generic way, and then your array name. Okay, then equals to, then we have this new keyword. Okay, for now, just remember this thing. This new is used for creating an object. Okay, to use this array, we have to create an object of this. Okay, the arrays is like a class. In here, we have to again pass the same data type. That's what is the similar data type we are telling. Okay, and here we have to pass the length. it takes the square brackets, and here it takes the length. Okay, length or size, whatever you want to say. So size we have to define, otherwise it will not work. Okay, so if you have already studied in this C or C++, this is completely different, right, in Java. So this is fixed size. That's what this term means. In here we can see. So we have written this fixed size. That's what we are doing in the syntax. So we have to allocate a space to the array. That's why we have to give size right in here. Okay, so we have to give the size using the square brackets. So data type, okay, this is a simple generic. Okay, with any data type it will work. We have to change it with the actual code, which is, just suppose if you want to store numbers. Okay, if you want to store numbers, we are going to say like this int, and let's suppose I'll just say array arr, and then new, then int, and the square brackets, then length. Let's suppose if I want to store 10 numbers, I'll just say 10 space. I don't want to use any extra memory for that. Okay, so this is simply a 10 value we want to store, right? What is the issue? Oops, sorry. Yeah. So here, remember this thing, we have to use square brackets as well. So this denotes actually the array, right? Here we are passing that, but here we forget about this. So this, remember this thing, we have to pass with the array name. Either you can use in here, you can use with the data type as well, right? So both is going to work. Even if you're writing with the int, right, it will still work. Okay, so this and this thing, it's same. Because if I write like this, let's suppose the AR1, so this both syntaxes is correct. Okay, this both will work. Don't be confused with this part. Sometimes people say like where we have to use this brackets. Okay, so you can use with the variable name, you can use the data type as well. This is the convention in the Java, so you can use both of them. Okay, I have written all both the syntaxes. So this is just a syntax for declaring an array. Let's go with the first one. So we have this array. We don't have any elements yet. Okay, so as we discussed, we'll be using the indexes. Okay, so to store the elements, to manipulate the elements, we have to use the indexes. Okay, so for as simple, let's again we'll be using a for loop, because we can do the same thing like this, but it'll not be feasible, because if we have any let's suppose we not want to repeat the code. Okay, in that case, we shouldn't be using this code again and again, right? So it'll be better option to use a for loop. I hope you remember from the last class, right? Yes. So what question you have? Uh, Sorry, I didn't get what question you have. Indexing is real or virtual? See, indexing is real, obviously, right? It's not virtual. Virtual is your memory address which is being working, right? Okay, the virtual memory if you're talking about. So virtual in the case, it is in the right, because if you're passing, let's suppose, let me finish this, right? It'll be clear, right? Automatically be clear. So here, let's suppose we have array. We have used this variable name. Okay, this is how you are declaring the array. Memory allocation is being done. Now we have to use the indexes. So in the brackets, we are going to pass. If you want to store an element at the first index, so for nothing but that is the 0. Okay, the first element. Suppose this is going to be take a number. So the date was 145. So this is how you have stored the elements. So now it's not virtual. This is real, obviously. Okay, real in terms we are using it statistically, right? In the compile time we are using it. Okay, so in the syntax when we're using those things, that is index, that is real. Virtual is your memory address being done behind the scene. Okay, so you don't have to worry exactly about the memory address. Okay, the memory allocation that is not of much importance. Okay, you don't have to worry about this, because we have garbage collector in Java. Okay, even that topic is not much asked. The error handling portion is important. Okay, it is asked somewhere, it is used in development, but garbage collection, okay, what is being done, so we don't need to worry about it. That's why we are using Java, right? Otherwise we have other languages as well. Okay, so we have some features, right, advantages of Java, which is one of like this, the memory allocation, automatic memory allocation. Okay, so we can do like this also, but if let's suppose if we want to store numbers from 1 to 10, okay, this is not a good way. I have to write every time like this. Okay, so let's suppose array 1 of any number, or let it be 1 to 10. Okay, so I'll just write like this, and then we have 3. Every time I have to like this. So this is not feasible. If you have to store, let's suppose, thousands of number, this is not feasible. I have to write 100 lines of thousands of line code, right, for the same thing. Okay, for this we have for loop. Okay, still you can use this way if you have to store only one element. Okay, but it's not feasible. Standard condition is not like this. In slicing array, you have to use a for loop. Okay, again, we are going to use the same for loop. Starting with the 0, it is going. Okay, one more thing is for each array. Okay, so I hope you got the point about this, so I'll write it, okay, just quickly. So when we are declaring the array, right, when you have said 10, okay, so let me create whatever the number of spaces we are going to make. We'll make that size, so that is 4 and 4 8, and let it be 10. Okay, remember this, just notice here, okay, just notice in here. So we have this block of, right, just a simple blocks of code, blocks of this like kind of boxes. So this is what you are saying is an array. We have said ARR. Okay, this is like ARR, and indexing are going to start from here. Okay, it will be more clear if you see. So 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and then 9. So this is a simple array. This is the variable name, and this is obviously it will have a memory address. Okay, it will be 9024 9028 like this. So it's not important right now. Okay, it's not important. Main point is we have to understand the indexes, how it is working. So it is going to be contiguous. Okay, you have already told me this thing. So there is the contiguous multiplication, which means this index is going to be before the first index only, right? So this one will be in between 0 and 2. Okay, like that. So we had this number. Let's suppose 1. We want to store 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, you can store any numbers in here. Okay, 7, 8, and 9 and 10. Right, that's the numbers we have. Okay, so what we want to do in here, we have to access the elements. So to access the elements, again we have to use indexes. Let's suppose if you want the fifth element, right, which is 6 in here. Okay, actually this is the sixth element, index is 5. So every time, remember this thing, the index is going to be start from the 0. We have a term. Okay, so let's suppose if you know about the size, that is okay. But if you're getting from somewhere else, right, in the code, and we didn't know what is the length or the size, because we have used one term which is fixed size. Okay, so fixed size, C language array, yeah, it is similar to the C language because they are also memory allocation works. C++ it is a bit different. Okay, where they have to don't have to give the size. Okay, that's the difference between C++ and Java. Right. So the fixed size we are talking about is like this. So when we know about the size, it is okay, but we have another the attribute of the property, okay, of this array class in the object actually, that is the length. Okay, so if you want to know the length of the array, which is right now, no, all right, this is the 10. Okay, so it is taking 10 memory of space. Okay, just like a block of the space around 4 bytes or something for the integer. So in here, it will be the property we are going to use is dot length. So obviously we can use 10. Okay, that is correct. But we can use this property as well. This is the method. This is like a method, right? We have in the string as well. Okay, we have this in the array as well. Right. So only difference is this is like a property rather than a method. Okay. So we are going to see about the methods. Don't worry. Afterwards. So let me use this. So we have to use the variable name, then you have to pass dot, then length. Okay, that's about the array dot length, which means this is the array we are going from I0 to array dot length. We are using less than because we don't want to reach out of index. Okay, the last index is going to be less than array that. Either you can use equal to, but you have to use here -1. That's that's how we are going to use. So instead of doing like this, what I'll do, I'll simply write array of I. I'll pass the I plus 1. Okay, why I'm passing I plus 1, I'll tell you, because it will be starting with 0. I want from 1, right? So last class also we have done the same thing. There we did with the simple for loop printing, but here we want to see the array, right? So we have passed the array, it is not printing right now, obviously. Okay, so if we have to access the elements, again we have to use the same thing. Okay, so is it clear till this point? If you want n number of array, then see, n is also is going to be an input, right? N is also going to be an input, right? In that case, so if you want an array with the n, so you can use obviously, right? We have to take a input for that. Let's suppose I have a n, right? I have a n, and in here we have any number. Let's suppose 450 or anything. So you can pass this n directly in here. It is possible. And if you want to take this n as an input, okay, so they have to study about this input, right? So there is a package, right, which you can use for input, that is not of much importance right now. This is a simple thing, okay, about the taking inputs, because you can use a scanner to take an input, right? So it'll be easy if you can use online compiler there. So otherwise we'll have to explain this part and will take much time, and we have to see the algorithms as well. So it's not necessary right now. Okay, I'll tell you. So this is a simple syntax. You can create a scanner. With the help of scanner, we can take inputs in Java. Okay, if you remember in C, that is a bit different. That is C in something. Okay, I don't know much about C++, but in Java we do like this. So we have a buffered reader, we have a scanner. You can use any one of it. So if you want n to be a dynamic, you can simply pass it like this. So you just declare the n, right? And here you have to use like this. So n is going to be sn dot next int. So this is for taking the input as an integer. This is a simple step. You can pass it this line afterwards. Okay, now this will work because n is declared here. After the input, you have to declare the array. Okay, because here you'll get the value, right? That's how we can do. We can see, right? So let's see this as well. So this is how we can take an input, right? This is a simple thing. So let's suppose we have an n. We want to have the array of this n length. Okay. So till this point, let me print the array. Right. So we'll see again one of the enhanced for loop, right? In the last class which we talked about, which works perfectly with the array. Actually, it was introduced for the array as well. Okay. So we have this enhanced for loop, right? In general, people remember about the three loops, which is for, while, and do while. Okay. So they have their use cases as well. There is a particular case where we have to use while loop and so on, right? But in this case, it will be easy if you have to get the elements only. Okay. So we can use this end, then element, then use one colon. Okay. This is two colon, not a semicolon. This is a colon and pass the array name. Okay. The ARR. Now we don't have to use the indexes. We can directly print this. Okay. So we can directly print this element. Right. So this is what we have done till now is we have used input. Okay. So don't confuse with this part. If you don't want to take input, this is easy. You can just like go through this one. Right. This is easy. This is easy part. It will take much time if you have to explain this next in and all those things. Okay. That is not of much importance. You have to see them. Right. So till this point, is it clear? ये लोगों ने यहाँ पे installation करा है. ठीक है. So this is the installation part. Right. And afterwards, so this is the declaration till here, and this is the installation. So both terms are different. Remember this point. Every time if you want to initialize an array, you have to declare it. Okay, it is applying to all the data types you have in the Java. Okay, so let's run this code. So we have to simply click on this run, right, to run this. So it's running, and it will ask for the input, I guess. Okay, when I type this 10, hit enter, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it will not be, I don't think so. We can increase the font size of this. Okay, so we have this 10. So first 10 I have used as an input. Okay, then afterwards we are printing the elements. Okay, this is how we are dynamically allocating length. Okay, so we are not dynamically allocating the memory, but applicable. This is simply allocation of length, right? The size, you can say. So this is nothing different. You are simply passing the size, right, to the array, which is n, instead of passing like 10. Okay, so you can use like this. I hope it is clear. Anyone have any doubt till now? If you are taking 5 minutes, it will create array 0. Yeah, exactly. It will create from 0 to 4. Okay, I hope it is clear. Anyone have any doubt till now? Okay, this is the easy points and simple. Okay, anyone have any doubt till the installation and accession of this array? This is how you can use this for loop. Okay, so code actually gets increased in this case. Here we are not using indexes. This is simple. So we can see the dry run. Array elements are gets traversed. So what we are doing is traversal of elements. So this is one of the questions, okay, which could be asked, which is obviously the basic one. So sorry, traversal of array. Yes, this is how we do the traversal of array. If you get any point about this traversal of arrays, so actually it is being used in the advanced algorithms when we have to traverse any map or arrays. Right, this is how we can do. Same goes for the map. Same goes for the hash set. We have so many types, right? So right now we're going to focus on arrays. Okay, the sorting and searching algorithms. This is for the today's class. Okay, this is how we are going to traverse the array. Right? For loop will traverse array dot length -1. It means your array, the last index is going to be array length dot -1. Okay, if I just remove this -1, we'll get the index out of bound error, because as I told you already, right? Let me paste this code. Okay. Anyone else have any doubt? Just let me know in the chat box. Okay, so you can see in here, as I told, just see this point. Okay, this 10. Okay, so this is like 10 numbers we are storing in the this one. So this part we have like this 10 boxes. this array dot length minus 1 means this array dot length will return 10 because we have n, the size is 10. Okay, that we know. Minus 1, why we are doing it? Because the indexes are till 9 only, right? We don't have any 10th index. If you are using, if we try to access the 10th index, which is out of range, so you'll get an exception. Okay, that is also you can check. So if I remove this minus 1, right, from here, we'll get an error, obviously, because we are trying to access the index which doesn't exist. Okay, that's why I was passing minus 1. Okay, so let me pass 10 in here, and you'll get the exception in thread, which is array index of outer bound. Okay, so this is obviously there are some popular exceptions which you already know, which is array index of outer bound and out of range and null values and all those things. Okay, this will be actually covering in the exception handling part where you have to access, and this is the most important in the array. Every time you have to take care of this thing, the index is not going out of range. Okay, because if you are writing much code regarding the arrays, then it is quite possible you are going out of the range, right? If you are passing dynamic values to this. Okay, if you just simply miss minus 1, you will get an error. This code will not work. If you can see on the screen, we have this error, array index out of bound, right? So this is the initialization part, which means we are passing the values to the array. Simple. Right? Here we are accessing the elements. So this point and this point is same. Either you can use this for loop or this for loop. So if you can see, the obviously the words are not much less, but here we have less code. Here we have much code, right? In this part. So here you can. This is actually similar, right? We can use any one of it. It's quite possible. Here actually you have to pass like array of I. The difference is here the element we have array of I. Okay, so this and this loop is same. It is printing the elements. So this is the traversal of arrays, both the loops. Anyone have any doubt till this point, just let me know. यहाँ तक कोई doubt है किसी को? Type in the chat box if you have, and if it's clear, just let me know. What is element? Element is the values you are storing in the array. That's what we call an array. Sorry, the element. Okay. Anyone have any doubt? Anyone have any doubt? Just let me know in the chat box. Yeah, so in the if you talk about the arrays, we have some algorithms, right, which we want to manipulate and check. Okay, so till this point, I hope it is clear. Anyone have any doubt till here? Just let me know. Okay, if you have any doubt, just let me know. Any doubt? Anyone? यहाँ तक किसी को कोई doubt है? Okay, so let's move ahead. Now we have to see about the some algorithms, right? We have to see about the algorithms. Before that, we'll see about the methods. Then we'll go on the algorithms. Okay. So this is going to be simple. For the methods and functions are same. Okay, nothing different. So what you're seeing in here main, right, which I told in the last class, this is a method, nothing else. But this method is different from normal user-defined methods. This is the predefined methods, which is main. So as I told in the previous class also, this is the entry point of the code. Every execution of the line will start from here. Whatever we have written in between this block and this block is not going to run. This is going to run, right, every time. So whatever you are going to do, everything is in here. So whatever the logic you want to do, we have to pass in the void main. Okay, public static. This is the reason. And this string args actually denotes the arguments, right? I guess someone asked in the last class. So this is nothing but the arguments. If you get the arguments from this main, right? So actually this will be like more use when you are going with the backend development or in the Spring Boot. Right now we are even going with the DSA part, right? In the advanced DSA as well. This is not going to be used. This is nothing but the arguments. Okay, this is nothing but the arguments. That's it. So simple arguments, right? So let me go on this methods. Okay, let me go on this methods. So output shows index number or data 1 to 10. See, output is showing the element, that elements, or you can see the output. Sorry, the elements, the numbers, not the indexes. See, I'll run this code again. Don't confuse. I'll just comment this out for now. And in here we have, okay. So what else we did actually? Let me clear this. Clear the screen. See, I have to pass one element, right? So here I have element. Okay, then we are seeing the numbers. If you want to see another numbers, you can do like this. So I'll just say I plus 13, anything. And now just run this file again. You'll see it differently. If I pass them, you'll see 10, 13, 14, 15 now. because in the installation part I did I plus 13, which means I equals to 0. We are storing the first element with 0 plus 13. Okay, so it will start with the 13. The elements are going to start with the 13, then 14, then 15, and all like that. Okay, so here, if you remember, this is the incremental part, right? Where we are incrementing the I value. So it can be changed. It's not necessary you have to pass I plus plus. Okay, so we'll see a quiz. Okay, we'll have one quiz at the like end of the class. There you have. I'll be giving you some snippet. Okay, from that you have to just tell me the output. Okay, so let's go with the methods first. Okay, so what do we mean by this method? It's simple. Sorry. Okay. So here we have this class, and again the class name methods, not a method. This is a class. I've just given this name class, right? Methods. So we have this public static. Every time we have to declare this. Okay, this public static void main. Every Java code these two things at least. Okay, it's not necessary to pass the for loop, but this is necessary to run a Java code. Remember this point. Okay, for the Java. ARGS is the augment exactly. Right? It is the augment. Right. So here, particularly, you don't want to use this right now. It is not being used. Okay. In the advanced Java, also, if you are going to learn, there also this is not much used. Okay. It is used obviously in the development part where you are going to develop a few apps, right, with the Java. Okay. There it is necessary. Right now, it's not. So, what is a method? Okay. Let me explain from here. Okay. So the term we are going to see is method. Okay, let us see what is this method, or we have a separate name also. We call it as a function. Okay, so we have this name as well, the function. So method or function is same. What is this? So whenever we have like for loop you used, okay, so you can just relate this method or function with a for loop because it was introduced to neglect or avoid the repetition of code. Okay, so every time we have to repeat a code, or let's suppose if I have written 3 or 10 lines of code and it is going to be repeated somewhere else in the same file, so we can use a function. Okay, the function is just like a block. So this is the curly braces. So this is like a block. Here we are writing the codes. So whatever the name you are going to give for this block, you can just use that name, that function name, and call it, and you can use this lines of code. Okay, whatever the number of lines of code you are going to write. So this is simple. So function is just like a repetitive or block of code, okay, which gets executed after it is being called, right? So I hope, like, see, maybe it's not clear from this point. We'll see with a simple code, right? We'll see with a simple code. Remember this point. This main is also a method, but this is a predefined method. We're going to see the user defined. So it is also classified into two methods, which is predefined methods and user defined. So this is a user defined method we are going to make. Okay. One more point is we're not making a method inside a method. Okay, it'll be like inside the class only. It'll be outside of this main. Mostly inside the class, but outside of the main. So let's suppose I'm writing a code. Okay, I'm writing a code. Just let me know in the chat box. Static keyword, right? See, static keyword is used when we don't create the object to call this main, right? This main actually is not directly. This is the entry point. But when we are going to create methods, if you are not, see, that is the concept of object-oriented programming, right? So when we are learning object-oriented programming, there we have to use this static. See, this is simply used to denote this method is not going to have an object. It can be directly instantiated, right? Which means you don't have to create an object to have to call this main. Same, we are going to create method. Don't worry, right? We'll okay, that is a different part. So let's suppose I have two numbers. Okay, I'm not going to take it, but it takes time. I have two numbers, right? Simple integer numbers. What I wanted like this. Let's suppose some, and what I have to do is simple. I hope you know the operators, which is simple operators. A plus B, right? So this is simple. This is giving the sum of two numbers, right? That is quite easy. So we can do like this as well. Right? We can do like this as well. This is easy. So when I'm going to run this code, I'll see this sum, which is nothing but sum of 12 and 14, right? Quite easy. So let me run this file. Okay. So in here, I'll simply run this file and you'll see this sum, which is 26. Okay. So let me have one more thing. Sum equals to, and then pass plus. Okay. So this plus is the concatenation operator, nothing else, which means concatenating two strings, right? That is what we are passing in the system.println. So let me just run this again. You are seeing sum equals to 26. Yeah, this is what we are getting. So this is the code. Let's suppose if you have to we have a line of code, right? We have plenty line of codes. Okay. Afterwards also, we have some part. We have to implement a logic. Okay. I'm just talking a hypothetical situation. In that case, we have to implement the same thing. Right now, it is small, right? It is only 3 lines of code, not much complex. But let's suppose this sum was some around 10 to 12 lines, right? So we are going to create that actually. We are going to create that when we are going to see the searching and sorting, right, today. So in that will be creating a method, right? We will not be directly implementing the logic of search. Okay, so here we are having 3 lines of code. Right now, this is 3 lines. Just assume we have 10 lines of code. Okay, so if you have to use suppose sum, right? Also you can use simple plus, but if it was like lengthier code, right? So writing this code again is obviously not a good or productive way, right, of making a software or anything. So in the industries, we don't follow this rule, right? We are trying to achieve less code, and the repetition should not be there, right? That's why we are in learning. Functions are that only to avoid the repetition of code. To you use the same code, okay? To use the same block of code every time with the same function name. That's it. Simple function name. You can use this code, right? That's why to not write the same code, right? To do not avoid this same line of code again and again. We have this method, right? So this is simple sum, nothing else. This is simple logic. So we have to create a method. So I'll just write public. Just be with me for now. Okay, we'll have doubt. Obviously, you'll have some doubts in here. So I'll write this public static. Then I'll say, okay, so few points we have to note about the methods is we have a return type, right? So this void means this main is not returning anything, right? So we have a return keyword. If you remember, that return means returning from that function, returning from that method, which means it returns a single value. Right now we don't have any. So what I'll do, I'll simply pass void. Okay, I'll explain this. I'll create a function. So this function name could be anything, okay, except for keywords. You cannot use keywords. In Java, we have to follow a few things, which is we have literals, we have keywords. So you cannot use keywords for the function name. Okay, the few key points you should remember this point. For the class name, you cannot use keywords. For the function name, you cannot use the keywords. Keyword means public. You cannot use this public. You cannot use the class. It will not work. It will be an error. Yeah, remember this point. So function name, class name could not be a keyword. Keyword means which is predefined, like this public, this static is a keyword. This string is a keyword. So you cannot have the function with this name. A string could be have this function name, but for the class it will not work. Right? That's the issue. Right? Remember this point. We cannot use keywords everywhere. Okay. So let us move ahead with this point. So we have this sum. We are going to pass parameters. Okay. So there are two parts. Let us see this first. So we have two parameters in here. What we are going to do is nothing but the same. This out in here we are passing a plus b. Right. This is simple. So here we are passing simple a plus b, which means getting the sum. Right. So this works the same way. If you want to use this sum, you have to simply call this. When we use static, actually the difference is we don't have to create the object. That's the reason. Simple. Okay, so we should not be going to the use right now. It will take more time. So let us see for now. When I call like this and when I call like this, it will work the same way with a single line. See, obviously we have written some code for this, but see what I am doing right now. We are simply adding this a plus b, right? So that's the same thing. We want the sum. So it is doing the same thing in a single line. So if I just simply from here, you'll see sum equals to 26 and 40, which is 15 and 25. Right, that's easy. So that is a function to repeat or to avoid the block of code, to reuse the same block of code with a simple function name. So function could be parameter, it could be parameter without the parameter as well. So let's suppose I have a function void and it is simple print. Doesn't take any parameter. Here I am going to print simple, let's suppose hello world. So we did this same part with a simple print also, right? That same thing which we did already. So if I call print in here, yeah, simply, I'll comment this out for now. And if I run this code again, so you'll see hello world. So this is a function without a parameter. And again, we are using void in here. We are not using any return type. Let's suppose if you want to return, right? So this is a simple point. Just for now, you can say the return type means whatever we are returning from that function. So that int should be seen like this. You cannot pass any string in here. You cannot pass hello. Okay, it will be error because hello is a string and it cannot be written because the return type of a function is a string. Right? That few things we have to take care of, because a plus b is going to be an integer, so this will work. This is not throw any error. This is perfectly fine. But the difference is it is not going to print. Return means not printing the a plus b, simply returning a value. So for printing this, what we have to do? Okay, what I'll do in here, I'll pass one sum in here. Okay, I'll just write like this. I'll print a. So I'll use this print method, and in here, what I'll do, I'll call this sum. Okay, I'll call this sum with 12 and 45. Let's see what can happen. So obviously we can call the function inside the function, right? This is possible. When I just click on this run, you'll see for 57, right? The sum of obviously this 12 and 45. Now how this thing is working, we are calling a function inside a function. This is not a recursion. This is not a recursion, right? This is not a recursion. This is a simple concept is you're calling, because see, you're calling a method which returns an integer value, which is being passed to the print function parameter, and it is being print to the terminal. That's it. I'll repeat this thing again. Then we'll move to the sorting algorithms, right? Which we want to see today. Okay, so I'll run this thing again. Just notice this point in here. So we have a print method which prints a simple a, which prints a simple integer. Some method returns the sum of a and b, the parameters. Okay, so this is what we call parameters or augments. Okay, so there's other classification which is actual and formal parameters. So this is the actual parameter. This is the formal parameter, right? There is a bit difference. We'll see that. So this sum a plus this 12 comma 45 will return. See, ignore this a and b. This is just an extension in the VS Code. Sum 12 comma 45 will return a value which is a sum of 12 and 45, which is 57. 57 is going to pass like this. So it will be, the execution is like this, print, and it will have 57 as a parameter. So it will call in here, it will see int a, which means 57. It is going to print 57. That's how you're getting this number, right? So everything in Java is an object. No, everything in Java is not an object. It is in the JavaScript. That is right. Java is different from the JavaScript. In the JavaScript, everything is works with the objects. In here, everything is like a class. Okay, even the integer class you are using, that is a class. We are creating the objects from the class. Everything revolves around the class in here, not the objects. Okay, obviously, we are going to use objects. This is in here right now we're not using objects, but in the arrays we use new keyword. This is also the scanner object. This is the array object we're using. Okay, so this is obviously the array, but you are creating the object of this array from this class. Okay, so objects, everything is not objects in Java. Remember this point. That is in JavaScript, not in Java. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear. Anyone have any doubt? Just let me know. Anyone have any doubt? Now the PC को कोई doubt है? Anyone? Okay, so let's see quickly. We have few algorithms we have to see today. I hope this thing is clear. Right, till this point. See, so whatever, see, these methods and function are going to be used in the algorithms. Right, I hope you remember this algorithms. So this is a simple term. We have been seeing this even from the high school, right? So algorithm, even in the maths, in the normal maths algorithms, or you can say the steps, right? So steps to perform an operation, simple, right? So algorithm, you can just a step, you can assume. So you have seen the same thing in the maths. We are going to implement that with the syntax or the coding language. That's it. So the algorithm is like a set of code, set of instructions which you give inside a function or maybe directly. Right? Is it possible? It's not necessary to use an algorithm every times in the function. It's not necessary. But we have this algorithm, or you can call it a step. So it is the set of instructions, right? I'll write in here. Okay. So it is like set of instructions given to the compiler. See, why a compiler? Because when you're going to run the code, it means you are giving an instruction to the compiler. That's it. So set of instruction given to the compiler to execute or perform operation. So operation means obviously the arithmetic operations, logical operations, anything like sum, which we did right now. Okay, so we didn't use any algorithm. We did simple operator, but you can see that is a sum algorithm, right? Simple. To add two numbers, we have an algorithm which is using a plus operator. Simple. So this is, you can just say for the algorithm simple, right, in one line. So this is what algorithm is about. So everything step by step, So in arrays, if you can see, so we have few algorithms, right? So right now we're going with the basic. So in general, we had two, which is searching, okay, which we are going to see today. The first, we have searching and we have sorting. Okay, sorting code will not do today, but we'll see how that algorithm works in general, right? Simple. So searching is like, I'll tell you. Let's suppose if you have a plenty of numbers, okay, you have an array, right, which contains, let's suppose, thousands of numbers, right? This is the block of code, and we have plenty of numbers in here, right? Any numbers, obviously the integers. Okay, if you want to search element, right? So can anyone suggest me? Searching means simple, right? Searching means we want to get some element, right? We want to check if that element is present or not, right? So we are going to solve few questions with this part as well, right? So tell me this thing, I'll ask from you guys. Searching, so let's suppose in the searching case, what we can do, we have just now we have seen about the traversal of the elements, traversal of the array, right? So can we use this particular? So this is also one of the algorithm you can say. So you can make a function, you can pass like this and print, right? So this is also one of the algorithm. So can we use this traversal for the searching? Searching means simple. Object in class, class is template. Uh, Class is a template, right? Obviously, but exactly, right? Traversing we can use, right? So here we can use the traversing for the searching, right? So even searching is classified into two different like techniques or algorithms, right? Which means searching and sorting have differences. We have different sorting algorithms, right? So we'll see bubble sort, right? General, like we'll not see the code because we don't have much time for this. We have selection sort. We have so many, right? So you have selection sort in searching. Okay, so I'll particularly talk about searching. Searching means if you want to check any element is present in the array or not. Simple. That's a concept for searching. So in searching is also have certain algorithms, right? So we related to the complexity. So I hope you guys were assuming that we are going to see this. So this is also one of the important points and the topic, which is time complexity, right? Space complexity as well. So in searching, we have this linear search. In general, we have two, right? If you are going to learn in advanced Java, we have another search which was kind of better than binary, not required right now. So we have this linear search and the binary search, right? Linear search means, as you guys said, right, the traversal, exactly, sorting and comparing the elements. That is in sorting. Okay, so we have this linear search and the binary search. We have two search. Actually, we have one more which is better than the binary, but that is the advanced concept. Right now, we are not going to go with that. So in the linear and binary, linear works exactly same like the traversal which we have seen, right? So linear is like when we are simply traversing through the elements, each element, and we are simply comparing it. Okay, so comparison, we'll see that we have some few conditional statements, which is checking if the number is equal to that number or not, right? So linear is simple traversal, right? So linear searching is nothing but simple traversal, nothing different. Okay, this is easy. But in the binary, the different cases, okay, I'll talk about the time complexity, then we'll go to the code, right, directly. So there is a concept of time complexity, which means, see, every time you compile the code, compiler takes time to execute that line, right? That is the time complexity. Okay, so in general, we have few ways to calculate that, right? We'll talk about this. So this the simplest way you can understand about the linear search. Simply traversal is the linear searching. Okay, we will see with the code what is linear searching. But in the case of binary, we're not directly traversing, right? So traversal in here is not the concept. Obviously, we are going to get the elements, access the elements, but not directly going all through all the elements, right? The only constant in here, here the array elements need not to be sorted. Okay, so sorting is not necessary. Sorting is not necessary, but here sorting is necessary, right? Which means array needs to be sorted. So can anyone tell me what is this sorting? We are just using this term again and again. What is this sorting in array? Right. So there is a bit constant to this. If array is not sorted, you cannot implement binary search. Right. So we have constants, right? So it is working fast linear search, right? But we have constant. We have constant of this arrays should be sorted, right? So can anyone tell me what is this? We have been using this term again and again. What is this sorting? Do we mean by this term sorting in the arrays? arranging in ascending. See, can you use this term ascending order? I've just said sorting. Order. Correct. Obviously, arranging. But if I talk about specific term, exactly right, ascending and yeah, right. That is correct. Arranging the elements right in a order. It could be ascending, it could be descending. Right. Ascending in order is also correct. But if someone asks you about the sorting, it doesn't mean ascending or a descending. Obviously, it both right in any order. Right. So in this binary search, sorting should be there. Otherwise, it will not work. Right. So binary search works in a simple way. I'll tell you. Before that, we'll see time complexity. Then we'll see the code. Right. So time complexity. There is a term right because we don't have even much time for completing all the topics right now. Term which is time complexity. We have less time right now, so we'll be seeing this time the running or screen of code right. So simple time taken. So you cannot see. Remember this point. You cannot calculate the exact time in milliseconds. There is a simple hypothetical situation. This is a hypothetical term, right? We are using a formula for that. Mathematical concepts, right? Which we have like the upper bound, lower bound in this, right? We don't have any milliseconds. We cannot calculate any milliseconds. That is going to be changed every time, right? So time taken to execute a code is simple time complexity, right? Or the time taken for algorithm, right, to execute. Also the time complexity can say. Okay, so in this case, this is simple. Time complexity we have. Okay, so we'll talk about this traversal, right? Actually, linear and binary. So time taken to execute a code. This is like a simple time complexity. So the mathematical concept which I am talking about, right? So this is actually important if you want to learn the advanced concepts. There you have to take care about the time complexity. Right now, it's not necessary. See, if you're learning from the scratch, it is not right now. Aside on the right after the class, we'll see. Okay, I'll give a one quiz of time. Don't worry. You'll be like getting, I guess, after the class on the portal itself. On the portal, you'll be getting it. Okay, so we have different kind of techniques for doing. So there is a big O notation, right? There is a theta, and there is a worst case complexity, which is the ohm we call it, right? Or we can call it a simple say something we call it, right? So there are few. So this is the time complexity before the upper bound. This is for the lower bound. This is like the average, right? Which means we have three. So this is symbols actually. This is big O notation. Okay, I'll write. So we have three notation, right? We have this big O notation, which calculates your upper bound, which means your like kind of that best case complexity, right? Best case, which means how your code is working fine in the best case, right? There is a big O notation. Then we have this average notation, right? Which is the theta, you can say. We call it theta. This one is theta, second one. And then we have this ohm, right? Obviously, the mathematical physics term. So this is for the worst case. We have a simple term for this. So this is for the worst case. And this theta is for your average case. Okay. So average case right now, just remember this points. Worst case, we have 3 points how we can calculate, right? So we have this best case, we have the worst case, then we have the average case. Okay. So if I talk about the time complexity, in simple, the traversal is the linear time, right? Which means the length of your the array, right? We'll see with the code. Okay, we'll see with the code. Just give me a few minutes more. Okay, so let me open this first and let me have the searching. Okay, so we'll see that in the later class about the sorting. Let's see about the searching first. The file name, it is searching. So this is simple searching. Okay. Okay. I'll write the code and explain. Okay. It is. Okay. I'll create a function, obviously. So searching obviously works in the array. Simple question is okay. So this is like a question of the assignment, you can say. I'm sure they'll be like relating to this only, nothing different. Whatever the assignment you'll be getting will be the traversal only. Right? So if you understand the traversal, nothing is complex. Okay, with the arrays. For now, just the basic concept, not in the advanced concept, obviously. Okay, so in the searching, what is the question is I have to check. Right, this is the I have to check in the array. Obviously, not directly seeing it through the array. Do we have that element or not? Obviously, with the code, I have to check the array if number equals to this 35 is there or not. It's simple. This is the question I have. Okay, it can be written in technical language as well to check if the number 35 is present or not in the array. Okay, or you can write like this. So here we have to use search. I'll create one separate method. Okay, so this is public static, and right now I'll use a here I'll take an array. Okay, and second parameter is going to be the search element. So this is nothing but the search element. Okay, just give me a few minutes and it'll be done. Right. So whatever we did in the traversal, it is going to same. Right. See this. Okay, so I'll use the enhance for loop because I don't want the indexes. Okay, it is not necessary obviously. So indexes are going to be necessary in certain cases. If let's suppose you want to check the element present in the even indexes or not, odd indexes or not, right? So I'll give you a simple homework, right, which you can obviously tell me in the day 3. Okay, I'll just after this class I'll tell you. So in here, let's suppose we have to check for the search element. Simple logic would be like this: if your element is I equals to your search element, right? So it'll return that element, that is the I. Okay, I'm going to return that element. Oops, I have to let me return this element only, right? So I'll return this element. Otherwise, I'll return -1. Okay. So if I don't want the indexes, let's suppose I have an array. I'll declare the array and slice at the same point. So this is also one of the way of using it. So I'll have this 35. Okay, I'll have this 35 for now. So see, at this point, I have used declaration installation at the same time. Okay, just to reduce the time, I don't want to take much time in here. Right. So what I'll write is simple. In the sys out, I'll say we call linear. Okay, I'll pass this array. Obviously, we have this array, and in the search element, I'll pass as discussed. I want to check for the 35. I want to check this 35 is present in the array or not. So if it's present, we'll get the same element because we are returning that I. What I'll say, I'll return this 1, right? Otherwise, I'll return 0. Let's see for now. So if my element is present, I'll get 1. Otherwise, I'll get 0. Right. So when I run this code, and this is a simple traversal, we have seen the same thing. The only condition which we used is if condition. Simple. Right. So in here we have run. Right. So we are just running this code. We'll get 1. Obviously, you can see in here in the terminal we have this 1 because this element is present in the array 35. Right, this is present in the array. So this is a simple linear searching, which is obviously the linear time complexity, which means the order of n. N is the length of element, right? So when we call it like this, so this is a time complexity. If someone asking, right? So if you are simply traversing the array, right, one time, it is the order of n. Okay, so there is a proper convention to calculate all those things. It will take more time to explain this, right? For now, you can see this traversal takes the linear time complexity in the array, which is nothing but the length. So n is nothing but the length of array. Okay, that's how we are going to say about the time complexity. We cannot write order of 10, right? That is not true. We are simply writing order of n. That is correct answer. So this is a time complexity for this, right? Simple, right? So tell me this thing about, is it clear? Is it clear for now? Frequency of an element, same thing, right? You have to just search and have the counter, increase the counter. Okay, you can have this. Okay, just the question you asked, I'll give you just as a homework, right, for the day 3. I'll ask you guys that not. So this is simple searching you have to use. This is a method we are calling inside the system. Print, we are passing the array first parameter, the element 35 the second parameter, right? The simple. So tell me this thing, if I'm going to say, like, this is a simple quiz, right, for you guys. Tell me this thing in the chat box. If I have, let's suppose, what I'm going to change is, okay, so I'll have this 35, and okay, let's see for the frequency as well for now. So I'll have this 35 3 times, and I'm going to change it like this. If I equals to, okay, let it be that search element. So if it's equal, return that C, and we'll have is counter, which is 0. So this is like frequency of element only, but this is not correct. Okay, so this is a simple quiz. I have written a simple snippet, okay, on the screen. You have to simply change it one point. Okay, so you have to obviously use an operator, which is the plus operator. So if I equals to search element, what I'm doing is I'll instead of like this, I'll pass c equals to c plus 1, and I return the c. Okay, tell me this point if you have to the question which we got in the chat box, right? If we want to get the frequency of the elements, right, is this correct? Is this code is correct? Let's suppose we have this array, we have the search element, and if you have the, if you want to get the frequency, is it correct? Tell me in the chat box, is it correct? Will it work? Will it, we are going to get this 3, the count of this 35? Is it correct? Okay, we are getting yes. Is it correct? Can you check it again, please? Okay, anyone else? Is it correct what we have to change? What do we have to change in here? Do we get the correct count or the frequency of the element? Are we going to get the correct frequency? So if it's no, then okay. So just let it like be homework, right? For now, I hope you got the statement in here, right? What we don't want to use and what is the logic. Okay, so simple traversal, remember this thing. The complexity is going to be order of n. Just for the knowledge, you can see the time complexity for the binary search. It works efficiently in the sorting because the sorting is already there in the array. Okay, so in that case, we have few sorting algorithms which works again comparing elements and traversing the elements, manipulating that elements, right? To give a count, break, can we use hash map for this? We can use a hash map for this, obviously, but hash map will take more space. I don't want to use any space. I want without any space, right? So space complexity, I don't want to use any hash map. It will take much space. Count is not 3, right? Obviously, you're not getting the count from here. This code is not correct. Okay. So what I'll do one thing. Okay, I'll paste this in the chat box. Okay, after the stream is ended, don't worry. Or I'll pass the GitHub link for this. Okay, so you can either take a screenshot for now and try to check it what else we can do in here to complete this code. This is not correct, right? This is not correct for the frequency of the elements, right? This is not correct. Any doubts till now? Any doubts you have till now? Remember this point. Okay, remember this point. Whatever we have covered today, and for this, okay, for the boot camp, you have to be at least 50% progress, right? You should have 50% progress minimum to get the certificate. Okay. So for like any doubt or any, you can just have this too, right? For the Telegram and WhatsApp, you can any doubts regarding the bootcamp, right? Even like if you like this bootcamp, just refer to your friends, right? Share with your friends, okay, and make sure you're marking the attendance from here. Okay. First, you have to enroll it. If you haven't already enrolled, we have finished the day 1. This is the day 2, working with the arrays. Okay. So just make sure you're marking the attendance from here. Whatever recommendation you want to give to your friend, just mark it in here, give program whatever you're interested in. Okay, you can just select it from here, give your feedback. Okay, just be honest for that feedback, right? Submit your attendance. Remember, 50% is the minimum for the certificate, right? And make sure you are like liking this video, right? If you like the video, and subscribe it and share with your friends as well, right? Those who are like starting with this Java, exactly, right? Count plus plus break, again it will not work, right? This is not correct. Count plus plus break will not work. Let it be like a quiz, right? Just try to solve it out, okay, and we'll see on the day 3rd, right, in the starting. I hope you'll be getting the assignment from this portal only, and if it's solved, so it'll be like good. Otherwise on the day 3rd we'll see that, we'll try to solve that. Okay, so one, then break will still not work. Break will still not work. That is not correct. Okay, remember this point. Okay, make sure you're subscribing channel, like the video if you like, and just share it right with your friends. Okay, if you, and remember, like we have this boot camp. See, in the 3 days you cannot learn, right? I was getting this in the comments and the notification as well. So we cannot obviously cover all the things, right? In 3 days, even in the 1 hour, it's not possible. But I tried to give a knowledge, right? Whatever had, and the important one, which is the scratch. From the scratch, we see about the arrays. So that is, if you want to learn arrays in depth, this is more than enough, right? You can just continue with your code, whatever you want to go, right? So remember this thing, mark the attendance, okay? And we have this referral option also. You can just refer to your friend. If it's he or she is going to enroll, you'll get the cash prize, right? You can either get a MacBook or you can have the cash prize as well. Remember this point, okay? And I hope guys like this, right? The channel, and remember to subscribe and just share with your friends as well, right? Any doubts till now, just let me know. Any doubts till now? Abhi tak hua wo clear? Yeah, right. I'm not sure. Like, maybe someone else or I'll be there, right, for the DSA. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. Anyone have any doubt? We can have one function for the counter. See, for the counter, it is not necessary, but you can have the function. Okay. You can develop your own logic. Next day, just paste that code, right? Whatever we've written in the chat box, I'll tell everyone, right, if it's correct or not. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the session, right? See you guys tomorrow, right? Make sure you are like completing the assignment. It is necessary. You have to complete the assignment. Take care. If you're getting any doubt, we'll sort it. Take care. From the portal only, you'll be getting that assignment from the portal. Okay. From the portal, you'll be getting that assignment. Okay. I hope it is clear. Yeah, we have the assignments. You have to solve. It will be going to be simple traversal, nothing else. Right? As much I know, like there will be simple travel. Okay, then see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the session. Make sure you're like marking the attendance, right? Don't forget. I guess there should be option, right? Submit. Okay. You have this notification as well, right? From there also you can either ask, okay, for the doubts or anything if you have any from here, right? From the portal, it's not yes, submit assignment and review assignment right here, right? So you can paste the GitHub link or you can directly paste the code, I guess. Just try to have the GitHub link as well. So see in here, right? See in here. For the mark attendance, we have this view assignment. You can see and submit the same point. Below the mark attendance, we have this button, right? Below the attendance, we have this mark button. You can submit the GitHub link or you can directly paste it in here, right? If that works. Otherwise, you have to code on the GitHub, give the and give in here. Right. So this is again the frequency. If you understand about the frequency, this is nothing different. It'll be simple one more logic which is going to be used. Right? This is quite easy. Okay, just try to do it. And if you have any doubt till now, just let me know. Right. You can submit it from here. I hope it is clear. Right. Okay. So see you guys then tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the session. Okay. Make sure you're sharing the videos, right, with your friends. Okay. See you guys tomorrow then. Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, hi everyone. So my name is Sai Kiran and I'm the founder and CEO of LetsUpgrade and I'm having some amazing news for every one of you. LetsUpgrade in collaboration with IT and Skills University is launching the first B.Tech CSE program that we love to share with you all guys. 6 features. Number 1, 100% job guarantee to all the students joining this particular program with minimum 8 LPA. Number 2, 1 year paid internship in product/MNC companies. Number 3, taught by real developers working in the industry in top companies. Number 4, amazing campus, a campus which is like we work in Mumbai that we are building for you all guys. Number 5, build lots of projects which are like real world applications, highly scalable applications from Hotstar to Zoom to your own Zomato. Number 6, you are gonna love the community collaborations that we guys have done. We are collaborated with 13 plus tech communities to give you the same environment what IITs and NITs have. Meet lots of industry people, participate in hackathons and meetups to understand what is running in the industry. That's what these are the 6 features which we have. You can check out the program on our website, that is isu.ac.in. Check out B.Tech there, you will find it. That's it guys, bye-bye.